To survive in the industry, you have to be flexible. You have to be understanding.
A spirit of following up.
Consistency.
Whatever your game is, you have to be willing to stick with it and be consistent with that game.
Talent, like real talent, not like your mom said, oh, you're good at this, or your friends were like, yeah, girl, get it. Even if you're talented, even if you persevere, like you're not gonna be able to maintain that unless you're consistent.
You have to be collaborative, you have to be open-minded.
I think you have to be a self-starter because, you know, you're gonna have to be able to do things on your own.
Passion. If you don't love what you do, then why are you doing it?
My name is Benoni and I'm the head of business development at Issa Rae Presents. I look for new opportunities for partnerships, look for spaces that we aren't currently in, look for ways to increase what we're already doing. Optimization is always important. Just finding things that normal production companies aren't doing and figuring out if there's a way for us to do it and if it makes sense. Well, let's just start from my day in general, right? I wake up, I have a horrible habit. I can't sleep past 7 a.m. So, you know, on days that I'm going to the gym, I usually try to be at the gym at 7 a.m. So I get up around 6, go to the gym, you know, checking my Instagram, seeing what the latest updates on Baller Alert or Shade Room is. Most importantly, you know, I start entering into a vortex of emails. So it's reading and responding to emails. It's reading scripts and providing coverage on them. It's checking in with our various projects and seeing where they are. And then, you know, by 10 o'clock, that's usually when the first conference call rolls in. And on any given day, you know, you could be on 4 to 5 conference calls in a day. And those conference calls can range anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour long. I live in LA where people want to meet up and talk shop on a regular basis. So, you know, you just have to be flexible and you have to balance it. But, you know, on a boring day, it's conference calls and emails all day. On a not so boring day, it's eating sushi and whatever else I can get my hands on. The entertainment business is a very finicky business where, you know, it's up and down. The same people that brought you in may not be the same people that are there when you get to where you ultimately want to be in your career. And what I always tell people is, as you're building your career, you need to be learning everything that you can. You need to be reading everything that you can. You need to watch people that you admire, watch how they dress, watch how they conduct themselves in meetings, and just soak up as much as you can. You don't have to emulate or be just like anybody. You can have your own thing, but you should have an understanding of what makes this person successful, what makes this other person be able to close that type of deal that I ultimately want to close. Oftentimes when people come into an industry, they want to take from that industry. They want to take fame, they want to take notoriety, they want to take relationships, they want to take revenue. You can't just come into an industry and take. You got to be a service provider first. And if you could come into an industry and you could find a way to be a resource to that industry before you take anything from it, you'll understand and you'll see that the industry will reward you for that. That is how you build and that is how you grow in the industry. When no one's watching you, that's when you're supposed to be putting in the work behind the scenes and building up that muscle, because that's all it is. It's a muscle that you're building. So when your time comes for you to do whatever it is that you want to do, you've built up that muscle so much that now you can just take it and you can succeed and you can overpower, or you could win and you could be strong in any situation. I think traditionally business is not necessarily that important in building a production company, ironically. And the reason why I say that is because to build a production company, to keep it simple, it's really to build a place where a bunch of creatives can create content, right? And when you create content and you're building this content, essentially you're an artist, there's nothing wrong with it, but you're an artist at the end of the day. Now, when you go off and you sell that project or you sell whatever ideas that you have, 9 times out of 10, most production companies are selling it as a work for hire, which means they're selling this content and they no longer own it. You know, they may be attached as producers, they may be attached as, you know, talent to the project, but they sell the project and they no longer have ownership of it. So my theory is, and I may be wrong in my thinking, but My theory is that business is not super important if that is the type of production company that you're building. What's important is being creative and getting out those concepts. Now, how you can make your company different is you can branch off and create various verticals. So not only do we have content that we sell that we have absolutely no ownership of, we also have other verticals, other business divisions where we own either a piece of the ownership or we own absolutely 100% of it. And to me, that's what's most important. It's having that insight and that forethought to be able to say, okay, you know, we can play in a bunch of different worlds, and we are a production company, but how can we build a business around it? For the shows that take off, can we create a merch line around it? Can we create, what type of spin-offs and derivatives can we create outside of that? Distribution is the number one thing in entertainment. Like, the only reason why you sign to a record label besides marketing and promo support is because they can get you the widest distribution. They can get you on a Target and the Best Buy and the Walmart. They can get you on iTunes, even though technology has evened things out a little bit to where anybody can essentially get on iTunes or on Tidal or Spotify. Not anybody can just get into Walmart or Target. There's still levels to it. So for us, it's really just about creating multiple divisions within our company. And that's why business is important, because we're able to take models from various different types of businesses and insert it into a business infrastructure that's normally not a thing. When people are creating a small business, they think of, you know, what I like to call vanity things or vanity metrics. They want to build a social media presence. They want to get a bunch of follows, get a bunch of likes. And while all of that is fine, you know, that likes and follows don't always equate to making money. It doesn't always equate to growing your business. And so a lot of times what I try to instill in people is to create the most simple version of whatever it is that you want to do and test it, you know. Create that simple version and figure out if there's a market for it. One, figure out if there's something, this is something that people want to be interested in. You know, we've always wanted to be a network, and we feel one day we can be on the same level as a BET, as a OWN, as a Centric. But right now, we're just not at that place. We're building, but we're just not there yet. And so, as a small version of that, we've created a distribution and a network-like effect on our YouTube channel. So if you go to our YouTube channel today, you'll be hard pressed to find a show that's come out recently that features Issa Rae, right? Which is kind of the opposite of what YouTube was founded on. YouTube was founded on a single creator being featured on their channel constantly, right? So with the Issa Rae channel, you're getting a network feel. So if someone fits the ideals that we have, if someone fits the demographic that we're looking to serve, then you could be featured on our channel. So that's a small version of how we're looking to create a network. And eventually we will be able to stand up and be on the same platform and rub shoulders with the bigger networks. But this is our starting point, and we're building from there.
Your vision is unfolding pretty quickly.
It's amazing. It's just like you give someone an opportunity and if they knock it out of the park, other doors will open. And then it's crazy because other people will just jump on board. But it's like all they needed was a chance. And that's the biggest catch-22 of the situation of just trying to work in Hollywood, trying to hire younger writers, trying to hire people who aren't in the union, who aren't experienced. It's like they'll never get those opportunities if they don't get a chance. And some people get a chance and blow it. Okay, but at least they got one. These are so hard. Like, you gave me the other questions in advance, but you didn't give me these. That's cool. Did you? You gave them to me?
Issa Rae and The Rock, because if she is in a movie with The Rock, then you know she made it.
I'd like to see Issa Rae and Donald Glover.
Issa Rae and Donald Glover.
Ryan Gosling and Tiffany Haddish.
You have an ability to make people feel good and to also make people want to care about what you're talking about. This is a great career for you.